There's something that I recognize about the person I wanted to be as a grown-up when I was a child or a teenager. There's something about this deck that really makes me think of seeing adult me through the filter or the perspective of child me, you know, wondering who I was going to be. Hello, angel babies. Look what I have. I have a treat for you and for me. I received my first PR deck and I'm so touched and grateful and in disbelief because I did not think this was ever going to happen. I wasn't planning on it happening. I am just very honored because this is a wonderful, wonderful deck that I'm going to share with you. This is the Tiger Tarot. It's a collage deck that was made during the Panini, and the artist is Lori Field, and the translations or card descriptions were written by Letitia Barbier, and it was published by the curator of Lori Field's museum exhibit, and her name is Kathy Imlay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing anyone's names correctly. I apologize if I am not, but I also was kindly gifted this catalog for the exhibit, also written by Kathy Imlay. And let's get into it. Let's do a little bit of digging first, and then I'm not going to do a walkthrough of the deck. I'm just going to do this kind of stream of consciousness thing. So you will see every card, but it's not going to be this like slow thought out type of, you know, flip through. There are those that exist on YouTube, I think, for this deck, and I will link them in the description. So I wanted to read a little bit from the Little White Book, which is actually a little pink book. So cute. So this is the foreword by Letitia. Tigers burn bright and flowers stand still in the sultry poetic planet that is Lori Field's eye. At last transmuted into a tarot deck for our pleasure, the creatures and mischievous guardians the artist channeled over the years pounced off the walls of the museum to offer us a curious invitation, joining them into a game of cards, a playful intrigue in which we always win and learn. So she describes this world as a jungle dream world, an alternate reality, and a world of archetypes. There's a bit about Letitia here and her experience with tarot, and then more about Lori's art and the tarot itself. Lori Field is a self-taught symbolist artist who's best known for her fantastical, intricately rendered personal fairy tales inhabited by a recurring cast of humans hybridized with animals. Her mythic worlds, filled with all manner of obsessive personal symbols, help her process reactions to current events in the real world. Field's original artwork for the Tiger Tarot deck, mixed media collages, were created during the early days of COVID-19 pandemic as she began to formulate a system of divination in which her shape-shifting archetypes could play a major role. With the tiger as her talisman, Field's tarot represents a subversive and emerging feminine concept of power. So it does have some differences in this deck. There is a suit of eyes instead of the suit of pentacles. And it's meant to represent the power of understanding and responsible use of knowledge. There's also an edition of the Soothsayer Court card, in which Field says they are the most powerful and pivotal cards in the deck. The soothsayer sees everything. They are the conductors, we are the orchestra. She's also added a prince court card to each suit, bringing the total card count to 86. The princes in the Tiger Tarot represent a non-binary, more inclusive, and less traditional interpretation of what it means to be a prince. Less royal and removed, more a prince among ordinary citizens. They are in tune with the people's struggles and triumphs. So then it goes through the definitions, very poetic descriptions, which I really like, and definitely relating to the cards themselves. And then there is a quote I wanted to read at the back. The anthropomorphic tiger figure is the common thread in each card's story. I've tried to convey a captivating and meaningful interpretation of tarot that is surreal and mythical, whose random draw of cards creates a new and unique fable each time. I hope that readers of the cards will interpret them to reflect important aspects of our real world, sifted through my imaginary menagerie in my Tiger Tarot. Very cool. You can find Lori Field's art at BunnyPlanet1 on Instagram. And you can purchase this deck by emailing the curator, Kathy Imlay. I'll put her email in the description below. I don't know how many copies they have, so I would just keep that in mind. So a few themes of this deck that I have noticed are fairy tale and fable, Elizabethan or medieval, menagerie aesthetic, like a vintage biology illustration of jungle animals, flora and fauna, Eastern religion symbology, psychedelic and galactic backgrounds, fashion editorial photography, or like, even if it's not, it feels very inspired by, that. And it feels very 2000s to me in the best way. I used to work at Z Gallery back in 2004, and it kind of reminds me of that mixed with all of the things I mentioned. So like fashion photography, maybe a little bit of like National Geographic, things like that. And that is a high compliment. It was definitely an aesthetic at the time, it was really cool, and it still feels relevant and new. It doesn't feel dated in any way. So this is the catalog. It has some beautiful write-ups on the artist, the tarot itself. So a little bit again about the tiger. So the tiger as her talisman, Field's tarot represents a subversive and emerging feminine concept of power. Of her Tiger Tarot, Field states, tigers are symbolic of a fierce, true inner capacity to survive and rule over their own nature. They take the chaos of the world and create their own space that is protective and royal. For Field, the tiger is a bridge between civilizations of the past and the survival of our own. I love this about divination, the witch, and the tarot. Show me your witches and I'll show you your feelings about women. Pam Grossman, writer, curator, and host of Witch Wave Podcast 2019. The witch, one of humanity's original outsiders, has been rebranded over the past few decades as a feminist icon, reclaiming all her historical fire and fury to fight the patriarchy, as well as hexing politicians and crusading across the country as environmental activists. Lori Field's Tiger Tarot is rife with witchy women, often represented in one or more of her identifying traits as a shapeshifter, conjurer, seer, or accompanied by her familiars, cats, rabbits, bats, sometimes flying through the air over flames, and always integrated with nature. Field invented a suit of eyes to represent the Sibyl, the seer of ancient Greek mythology, as well as a new court card, the divinely feminine soothsayers. Both these ancient female archetypes are ancestors of the witch. Lori Field's Knight and Page cards, all female or non-gendered, represent Joan of Arc and other subversive women throughout history, many of whom were declared witches and burned at the stake. She appropriates from surrealist artists Remedios Varo and Lenora Carrington, who both identified as witches and consulted the tarot. Carrington created her own tarot deck in 1955, well before the better-known tarot deck created by Salvador Dali. which we're familiar with, and Lenora Carrington's tarot is definitely something that I have coveted for a long time. I do not own it, but I will. It'll come to me eventually. It talks about the medieval era, about her imagery being a mashup, comic and subversive, having knights, nuns, and queens tattooed with her signature symbology. It's really, really interesting. It goes deep, and I mean, it shows. It's really cool. I don't know if you can see down here. Okay. I want to protect my figures from harm and place them squarely in the increasingly neo-feudal contemporary society we seem to be hurtling back in time to inhabit. It's positively medieval. And then it has some of her artwork. The major arcana and the court cards, and then some of the art. I love this one. Really, really cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna do an exercise that I've seen Danny Mystic do with new decks. And that is to go through every card and without spending much time or thought, just going with instinct, putting them into piles. So a love, like, and dislike pile, or, you know, don't love the most kind of pile. And I've had this deck for a minute and I haven't used it because I really wanted to do this on camera. So here we go. And then maybe we can talk about what comes up for us, like after, let's say after. Am I going to love every card? Okay, no. It's hard. Oh my gosh, it's hard to do this quickly. I think I love this one. Oh, it's hard. Like I want to go on instinct, but I was like, sometimes I'm not trusting my instinct. Do you see what I mean about, like, it really reminds me of fashion magazines, and that's such a compliment because I have always really respected and it's aspired to the more art fashion magazines. So I'm talking V and W, and even like later on, or like younger focused ones, like let's say Nylon, you know, but like the taste level of these magazines, like yes, maybe Vogue, but I'm really thinking even Vanity Fair had really great. I kind of love this one. I kind of love this one too. Had really great style, is what I was trying to say. And all I'm doing in this practice is putting what speaks to me in one pile and what doesn't speak to me as much in another. So it doesn't mean that the art in these three isn't as amazing. It is, but these ones don't speak to me as much on a level that, oh sorry, I'm like not in frame, here we go, on a level that the other ones do. And I wonder why that is. I really do love this background. I think there's something about the combination of this body and the head that kind of puts me off a little bit, and it's the same with this one, and maybe the colors of this one aren't my favorite. And then this one, I think that the figure used isn't my favorite, but everything else is great. Okay, let's look at the ones I like are the ones I like, so that's great too. We saw them, they're cool. This whole deck is amazing. It feels like a soul deck of mine. There's something that I recognize about the person I wanted to be as a grown-up when I was a child or a teenager. There's something about this deck that really makes me think of seeing adult me through the filter or the perspective of child me, you know, wondering who I was going to be. So this Four of Eyes, you know, the color scheme and the roses and the tiger. I was born in the year of the tiger, so that means a lot to me. I love all the evil eyes. I think that doing the eyes suit was really clever and cool. Should we pick the best out of the best for these? Should we just do that? Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm nervous. I'm kind of flustered with this one because they're just so good and it feels so special to me. And I'm sorry if I'm not completely in frame. This is a new setup and I'm really liking it, but it's an adjustment. These are really beautiful. I'm having a hard time choosing, but okay, I think I like this one better than this one. Okay, gotta do the two-headed kitty. I love the two walking together. I love that the star isn't alone. This might be my favorite tower of all time. I don't know. Okay. Oof, that chariot. The majors in this are really, really good. Okay, let's see what cards are my fave. I don't know if I can narrow it down more than this, so. It feels like a dream world, and it feels like a dream world that I live in my head a lot. And there's nothing more satisfying to me, I don't know about you, but having an aesthetic that you have in your head and seeing it manifested, you know? Because this isn't something that I would know how to do, but it's like someone else went in my head. It was like when I first heard like Lana Del Rey for the first time, you know, it was like, oh my gosh, she wrote what was in my soul and my heart. And so like this feels like Lori made art that is in our souls, and it's so recognizable. And it reminds me of like ballet and eccentricity, but refinement, and really, really a subversive feminine power. I know that was like what she said is kind of the point, and it really, really shows through. I think the Four of Eyes might be my favorite card, but it's like so simple. The Page of Eyes is really great too. I didn't pay attention to how many of each suit, so maybe let's do that. I'm just playing now, I'm just playing. But I hope you enjoy, and I hope it's a feast for your eyes and your soul like it is for me. Let's see. So we have swords, wands, eyes, swords, cups, eyes, swords, swords, ooh, swords, swords, wow, cups, wands. We've got a major. Is that out of the picture? Let's try to. Okay. Swords, another major, cups, and another major. So we have 4 majors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swords, but these might be mostly court cards. Let's see, Soothsayer. Should we put them in order? Ace, 4, 7. Page, Knight, Prince, Soothsayer. I think I'm only missing the Queen. So I do have almost every court card for swords. That's really interesting. Air sign, what's up? Okay, so then we have only 2 wands, both beautiful. We have 3 eyes, the 4, the page, and the 10. I wonder if like this would be a good reading, you know? Maybe I'll do that off camera. The Prince, the 9, the 10, and the page. So it would be in this order. That 9 is like, with the coral and the background being black and space and this like amazing makeup and design, like the colors, I don't know, there's just something about it that is just like hitting the mark. The 10 of Cups, amazing. The page and the Prince, very cool. This yellow is really grabbing me. It feels like gold. And then these are my favorite kind of tulips. Okay, so how many cards is this in total? So this is 4, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 out of 86 were my favorite faves. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I skipped over your favorite. And then the majority of the deck were things I really liked. I think there were only 3 that I wasn't in love with. 3 out of 86, yes, I think that's a really good ratio. An incredible achievement. I feel so lucky to have this deck. I can't wait to do everything with it. Actually, I haven't done like my year ahead spread or pulled cards for the year and the months of the year. So I'm about to do that. Okay, we got a jumper. And it's the 10 of Wands. Yeah, it sure feels like the 10 of Wands. focus at last, inspiration and willpower align, allowing us not only to imagine, but to manifest what was once just an idea into concrete reality. With the Ten of Wands, daydreams become goals. Phantasms become challenges met with enthusiasm and a positive attitude. Encountering a new form of wisdom, we stop talking, we start doing. Wow. I'm not going to share why that's super relevant to me right now, but stay tuned. Hopefully you'll hear good news soon. And this deck makes me want to cry. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Letitia. This is incredible. Please let me know if there's anything else that you would like to see me do with this deck as far as on my channel. If you'd like me to, I'm happy to do a walkthrough. I just didn't today because I know that other people have done it and I really wanted to do this with you. Also, I don't know how I feel about like flooding YouTube with tons of walkthroughs of the same deck. Let me know what you think. Like, is it different for everyone? You know, if you see it on one person's channel, or is it valuable because, you know, not everybody sees the same things or follows the same people, you know, they aren't all subscribed to the same channels. I don't know. Let me know what you think. This is like my dreams. I feel like I'm fulfilling the fantasy self that I had, you know, that I envisioned as a child. And it's beautiful and it's feminine and it's strong and it is subversive. I think that's such a great word for this deck. And subversion is power. It's power against institution and oppression, and it feels very mystical and mythic and very real somehow. Like, this feels like an oracle in the sense that, like, this feels like I can divine things and manifest things for myself, and it's a unique feeling because I don't have that feeling about a lot of decks. So I'm just kind of speechless and beside myself. I meant for this video to be longer, but I think I'll just get emotional and I don't have the words. I thought that I would. Let me know if you want to know anything. I'm happy to elaborate and make another video on this if you'd like. Please don't forget to subscribe. A lot of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel, and YouTube is really weird and it doesn't always show you videos. So please like, subscribe, comment if you'd like, and I want to thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being curious. Thanks for being my friend. And my mom's coming. I gotta go.